You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
This is Rod Mahood, your in-game voice of the Niagara IceDogs, and you're listening to the Dog Pound Podcast on the Armchair GM Sports Network, your podcast source for all game analysis, team interviews, and up-to-date news regarding the Niagara IceDogs.
Perlini! Overtime! IceDogs win!
Hosing! Score!
To Akil Thomas. Thomas has the angle coming in. He scores!
Verhaeghe does it again! 52.1 seconds to go. Do you love it, Niagara?
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of your Niagara IceDogs, and our special end-of-season interview with the IceDogs captain, Landon Cato. Extended version of Cato's Corner, which we've done all season long here on the show. Really look forward to talking to Landon about the season, both the guys, and looking ahead to next season. We've also got a lot of fan-submitted questions, so we'll get to that in segment 2 of today's episode. But guys, make sure you're following the podcast on Twitter at Dog Pound Podcast. You can follow myself at bcaputo_AGM and my usual co-host Kyle at just Kyle51. You can also like us on Facebook and Instagram, and you can like our website, armchairgmsports.com. If you're enjoying the video version of the podcast, make sure to hit like, smash subscribe, and smash that bell for all updates on video versions of our podcast that get released here on YouTube and the network. And give us some love on the audio version if you're listening to us right now in audio, wherever you're getting your podcasts at. We're available for you guys on demand. So with that said, let's get to our interview today with the IceDogs captain, Landon Cato. Look forward to talking to Landon, just a wrap up on the season and looking ahead to next season. Some stuff behind the scenes as well about him and the team, and the fan submitted questions should be interesting segments. So here he is, the captain of the Niagara IceDogs, Landon Cato. Welcome to our end of season discussion with the captain of the Niagara IceDogs, Landon Cato. Landon, thanks so much for coming on in person today. Usually we've been getting you for the Cato's Corner segment at the rink, but very happy that you could join us for just an end-of-season discussion with the captain.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's been fun doing Captain Cato's Corner all year, so
yeah,
this is probably going to be a good one again.
Yeah, first question off, how have you enjoyed doing that? Like, obviously you haven't been able to be playing as much as you've wanted to this season, but have you been enjoying doing that segment, once a month, updating everybody on how the guys are doing in the room, and like how have you enjoyed going through that this year?
Yeah, I think it's been really good. Being able to talk to you and let everyone know what's going on in the dressing room, I think that's also a big thing, because with this year there's been a lot of questions about everything. So me being able to kind of clear the water and let everyone kind of get ease in their mind that we are working on things and we are trying to get better and trying to do better things for the organization, I think it did help a lot. And it's a lot of fun also just to be able to do something during the game instead of just watching every single game the whole season. So yeah, it did bring a lot of joy to me for being able to reach out to fans and talk to them, and then also being able to talk to you guys and just kind of get a little bit different and see the other side of the game that maybe I wouldn't be able to see if I wasn't injured.
Yeah, we talked to you during the season about how it was kind of different. You were kind of a player coach, you were a guy in the locker room, but you had a unique perspective, being able to watch the games from above and then going to the room and giving those guys feedback. So how do you think that whole experience went for you? I know it's hard as a hockey player not being able to play, but how was that overall experience for you, being able to give feedback to the guys on, being an extra set of eyes up there?
Yeah, it was different. You learn different things, I guess, every year. And I think this year, as I told you, it was a year of big time learning. I didn't play barely any of the games this year. I've been injured. So me being able to look at the other side of hockey, like I was saying with the interviews and all that, but even watching from the stands and just being able to see those players and see different things that they're doing and different tendencies in their games. And I was able to help out younger guys. And it's my fourth year in the league, going into my fifth year, so I kind of know a little bit about the league now, and I was trying to help them out and show them little things to do and just be that voice that they kind of need to talk to instead of their coaches, because you can only really talk too much to your coaches, and so you really want someone around your age that's going through the same thing as you to be able to talk to. And I think that's what helped me, and I think the way it worked out, it was almost like it was meant to happen. Like, these players needed someone to talk to. They needed support through this year. A lot of them haven't been through something like this ever in their life. So, and I've been through it for the last 2 years probably now. So it's kind of, I've already learned a little bit about how to deal with it and cope with it and how to get better from it. And so I think that was my gift to the team this year, was helping them on that side. And hopefully next year we take everything we learned and we have a great year, and I'm there for the whole year, ready to go and ready to play for the fans.
And you're going to be going into your overage year. Speaking of overagers, you know, we've got the ceremony that was announced today that's going to be happening in the final game upcoming against Sarnia, where the three overagers are going to be honored just like they do every single year. What have those three guys meant to you? And just, you know, the overagers over the years, we've seen, you know, last year with Van Loon and Dakota Betts, just how important are the overagers to the group, not only for you as the captain, but just for the overall, I guess, dynamic of the team? And how do you think that those three guys with Rebo, David Jesus, and Jared Keene, before obviously he got hurt for the rest of the season, how do you think those guys fit into those roles?
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. Not many people get to experience it that don't play in the OHL, but having that overage year and seeing those guys, it's their last kick at the can, right? So they're putting everything on the table. So being able to like experience that and see how hard these guys really do go, and see the passion and love these guys have for the sport. Like, I don't know what it is, but for most, like even from my rookie year all the way back then, like my closest friends were usually OAs, like Oliver Castleman, Elijah Roberts, Drew Hunter. I was always with those guys almost every day, actually. Like, still talk to Elijah Roberts to this day, still talk to Oliver Castleman to this day. They're both close friends of mine, and that I'll keep in touch with for the rest of my life. And it's I don't know if it's something with me or it's just something with the younger guys, but the OAs always have that extra push. And this year with Keene, Rebo, and Jesus, it was no different. I mean, they were three of the best guys I've ever met in my life. And those are relationships that, whether it's Keener joking around or chirping one of the guys on the team, like making the boys laugh in the morning, or it's DJ just doing something absolutely outrageous on the ice, or just chirping everyone, joking around with everyone, or Rebo's talks or his camera comes out, either or. Like, there's so many things you can go through, and they all bring a little piece to the team that you'll never forget. Like, all the players on this team this year, maybe they'll forget the season, maybe they'll forget, but they'll never forget the stories and memories that we build. And I think that's something as a team we've realized. And so that's something we've held close to us. And Keener, Jesus, and Rebo, they've all have helped us a lot through that.
Perfect. And you can see that too. Like, I think it's important that you have strong leadership, not just one person with the C on their chest. It's a leadership group. It's a leadership, you know, collaboration between a bunch of guys, because especially for a young team like this that went through such a turnover and had a young roster by the end of the season, like, do you think that was important, that you were unified as a leadership group, not just you as the captain, you know, having those guys be there on all the road trips and being able to give you feedback on you know, what guys might need a little bit of support and a little bit of help here and there?
Yeah, I mean, they made my job 30 times easier. Just the knowledge even those guys know, like Keene, he has brothers that have been to the pro level and are still there, and he kind of knows the game very, very well. Rebo is the same way. Like, he knows the game extremely well. And Jesus, the exact same way. So, like, all three of them, they are able to pick up on little things, and they know how things are supposed to be done and how things are supposed to be ran. So it was really easy. I didn't really have to say much. Like, these guys were telling the guys what to do. They knew what they had to do. And at the end of the day, they wanted to win. So they were trying to do anything they could to win. You saw Rebo, he'd throw it down with anyone in the league. So that kind of gave our boys a little bit of jump that, hey, we got this guy going for us every night. Like, we got to pick it up. And it was the same last year for me and my rookie year. You'd watch those guys protect you, and you feel as a rookie, you feel so protected. And you know that if someone touches you, something's going to happen to them. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think you need to feel comfortable as a rookie and as a young guy. And I think Rebo, Jesus, and Keene have made that very, very comfortable for guys like Kevin, as you can see, who's having a great year, and younger guys like that who are really excelling. And it's no coincidence. It's because of the older overagers that we have on our team.
Right. So get to see that on Sunday afternoon. Should be emotional, but a good ceremony and well deserved as always with the overagers. So you mentioned the young players, and that was my first question. Fan submitted questions are going to be at the end of the show today, guys. So if you're waiting for your question to be asked for Landon Cato, it'll be at the end of it'll be in part 2 of today's episode. So, what has impressed you most about the young players who stepped into significant roles this season? You mentioned Kevin He, the William Stewarts, the Runkos, Vermeulens, Vannettens, Valdemar Hall. What is it about those guys being able to just go in there with, you guys have dealt with a ton of injuries, some suspensions, obviously a lot of the player movement as well. So what does it say about those young players, and how do you think that's going to help them as they further, move on into their hockey careers, going through the season that they did, being thrown in as rookies and being asked to produce right away?
Yeah, you said it best. They were thrown right into the fire from day one. So Niagara's is a great market, and there's a lot of pressure when you play here to do well. And so when you're a rookie coming in and the team's not doing so great, it's very, very tough. And so the way these guys have dealt with it, and the way Kevin and Stewart and Runko and all those young guys have dealt with it, Vanette and all these guys that are first-year guys, I mean, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it at my 16-year-old year. Like, that's the year you learn everything. So for them to be able to step up and not just be passengers and actually take a seat in the driver's seat and help drive this bus, credit to them. I don't know if I would have been able to do it in my 16-year-old year. It takes a different person to be mentally tough to come to the rink every day at that age and have so much else going on in your life and still be able to be happy to come to the rink and be around the boys and give it your all. I mean, you got to be a great, great special person to do that. So I give kudos to all those rookies this year and for what they've done. And I think for the future, I think they're just going to excel. I mean, you can't really not. We've been through everything this year. So like I say this a lot. There's only so much they can throw at you. Once it's done, you're going to get better. There's only up from here for us. So for them, I mean, the sky's the limit for Kevin He and all those guys. I mean, they have 4 or 5 years in this league, and they're just going to excel. And you guys are going to be excited to see them in a couple of years. So
absolutely, we got a glimpse of it this year. With Kevin He putting up 20, goals, even strength, which is pretty incredible to think about as a 16-year-old rookie, second rounder. Just what is he, because he was, there all season. What is his jump and his kind of just personality been like for this group? Jumpstart, you guys always, made fun of his celebrations and things like that. And we all know about the outside pressures that he has about, rookie records and even scouts saying that he's going to score 100 points in this league. Like, how do you think that he's handling all of that pressure and trying to take to success? Is there anything that you guys or you've had to, say to him, or he seems like he's, one of the most mature 16-year-olds I've ever come across?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think you could ask anyone who's dealt with Kevin, and they'll tell you the exact same thing. He's probably the most mature kid I've ever met in my life, and he knows what he wants. He has a goal, and that's what kind of turns people off. He knows exactly what he wants at such a young age, and he gets under people's skin on the other team because they see this kid who won the second round, and it's like, well, how are you doing? And my rookie's not even doing this, and it's like, it's a good look for Kevin. Kevin's going to do very well in this league. He's a hard worker, a great worker. And most people don't know this, but this is the longest season Kevin's had in a while. His minor midget year, he didn't play much because of an injury. He had surgery. So for him to be able to be this fast and doing the things that he's doing at this level for this long and not playing a year last year, like, it's incredible. And him dealing with school and with scouts and with media and all that stuff. I mean, like I said before, it's something I don't know if I could do my 16-year-old year, but he's the man to do it. I promise you that. He is. He's the most mature kid I could ever come across. And he really does. When I say he knows his goal, like, he really does know what he wants. And he's a perfectionist. If he's not perfect, he does it again and again and again and again. And that's a formula for success. You hear it from everyone at every single level. You hear just consistency, just keep going, keep working. And that's one kid who doesn't matter what gets thrown at him, he'll keep working, and he'll always be the little jokester around the room. So, and in terms of us trying to help him through that, I mean, I've done it a lot. Me and Kevin are pretty close. Like, I've taken him under my wing and I've tried to help him a lot. And it's just with confidence. You just have to keep your confidence up. You have to know that you're here for a reason, and you have to know that these people are watching you for a reason. And if there's bad critiques, they're critiquing you because you're good. There's a reason they're watching you. They don't just pick anyone and start talking bad about them or talking good about them. You have to do something for someone to notice you. So for him, it's just getting over that hump and not thinking too much. I mean, you're 16 years old. You're on TV every night. You're in front of cameras. You're in front of 5,000 plus fans every night. Like it's something you dream for your whole life. But when you actually get it, it's a bit crazy and it's a bit hard at first. So just helping him not think too much and just remember that you're here to play hockey. It's been our biggest thing all year. Like me and Kev talk about that all the time. You're here to play hockey. We just play hockey. Don't worry about it. Let's just play hockey. Like, and that's kind of helped him along the way. I know he's enjoying it a lot more. He's coming out. He's talking a lot more, like just joking around. So it's good to see.
Yeah, and that's one guy that you can look at, and Ice Dog fans can get excited for the future of what Kevin He's going to be bringing on and off the ice. But again, just what mature beyond his years. You know, we can all see that. Fans can see it. You guys in the room obviously see it, and we as media and people around the team can see that as well. Just the future is very bright for a guy like Kevin He, although his goal celebrations I think need some work. But we got a question from Kev later that he wanted to ask you. So I'm sure you can look forward to that. You mentioned it being a long season. Like, was there a moment or two that stuck out to you in a good way? Like maybe something that somebody did on the ice, you know, last year when Waddick actually fought Asadorian, you know, that was a funny moment having Asadorian come over to this locker room now. You know, that was one of like the highlights through a tough season. Like, is there anything that you guys talk about as a team that, you know, was a strong moment, bonding moment for you guys, or just something that you'll take away as a fun or a good moment from this long season?
Yeah, it's funny actually. There's a couple. We have first off for sure is when Rebo fought Hache. So he had hit Ludwitsky. I was playing D partners with him this game in Kingston. He cranked Ludwitsky like hard, and so we were skating up the ice, and Hache was kind of in front of me, so I was like holding him off, and he was like yelling past my shoulder. He was like yelling at Ribby or whatever. So I knew they were going to go at some point. So the period ends or whatever. And we're talking because you get off the ice the same way in Kingston. So we're kind of going back and forth with each other. Like Ribby's yelling, I'm yelling, Hache's yelling, a couple guys in their team are yelling. And so we knew something was going to happen. We didn't know who was fighting, but we knew something. We probably thought Rebo and Hache. So then we get on the ice for warm-up. We're skating to our bench. Or for the second period, we're skating to our bench. And Hache comes over and he's like, we're going this period. And Rib's like, yeah, we are. And so our coach starts us. Hache starts. I think Pano was on the team. He knew what was going on. So Pano had won me the draw and have the puck. And I'm like, well, I know they're about to fight. So, like, do I go D to D or do I kind of just hold it and, like, let them get their gloves off? So I'm holding the puck and I have no clue what to do. I think I threw, like, it would have been a horrible giveaway. Like, I, like, threw the puck across the ice to Dan behind his feet or something. And there was a player coming at him. Luckily, the gloves were off by then. So they started fighting. So I was like, oh, phew, Fleck, we're good. And yeah, like, I mean, just the energy on the bench, like seeing him do that, like for the boys and just protecting us and all that, like those are little things that bring us close. And I think any road trip that we stay overnight and we're with each other like that long, I think are great experiences. Like Sudbury trip this year, I know boys all still talk about it. We were there for like 3 days. I think we played North Bay. The first night went to Sudbury, slept in Sudbury, played Sudbury, slept again in Sudbury, then went to Sault Ste. Marie. And like, we were just, I think all the boys were tired and we were all just giggly and laughing. And it was a great bus ride. It was a great lunches. It was great everything. We got to see the water. We had a little bit of off time. So, I mean, it's just those things you'll never really ever forget when you are done with the game. And that's kind of been our motto for the last couple like weeks or months is just make memories that will last and make memories that we can bring on with us for the rest of our lives. And even some of the big wins that we got that maybe we weren't supposed to get, those are always great. I mean, the boys, even in the dressing room, the music's bumping after the game. Like, it's just a great place to be. And it shows the younger guys, like, that's the environment we want every single day of every single year if we can. So it's pretty cool.
And going off of that, I mean, we don't want to get too much into the player movement and stuff like that, but, you know, when your friends and teammates, those are your brothers, when they get moved, you know, it happens on every team, every you know, sport, guys get moved around. Like, how do you cope with that personally? Do you guys do you stay in contact with those guys? You know, some of them would go within the division, some of them go cross conference. Like, is it awkward, or is it like the brotherhood dynamic always going to be there? Because it's something that you don't get in other walks of life once you're out of that, brotherhood locker room type scenario. Like, how do you kind of go about all of that?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, I can speak for myself. I mean, I think I take it probably the hardest. Any trade, really. I remember my 16-year-old year, the first time I ever experienced a trade. I think it was either Paquette or it was Brady Johnson. And I couldn't, like, I knew nothing about these kids. I met them maybe twice, and then they got traded. And I was so upset. And I wasn't even close with these kids. And it's like, that's when you first get the first taste of like that this is a business. Although it's a sport and you love it, it's still a business. And I mean, seeing Pano go this year, seeing Sizzo go this year, Zito, like, I mean, those are some of my closest friends. And so that for sure, tears were coming out those times. And yeah, it's hard. You keep in contact for sure. I mean, I think the hardest one this year is probably Roddy. That's like my closest friend. He's probably one of my best friends for life. And I talk to him, FaceTime him every day. So we're talking every day. But yeah, that one took me a couple of days to get over. But you get over it because they're on to bigger things, and maybe it's a better fit for them. Hopefully it's a better fit for them. So you hope for the best, but it's always the hardest seeing them go that one day when you see their stuff packed up and you walk into the rink and it's like, it drains you. It's just bad. But Niagara, they've been great with us this year, helping us. Like when Sizzo got traded, they gave some of his closer friends, like some of the older guys, they gave us like the practice off and let us go grab lunch with him for one more time. And like Roddy, we all went out for a dinner after. So like those are friendships for sure. You'll never, ever, ever, ever lose. I still talk to Pano. I still talk to Sizzo. Me and Sizzo were talking about a real estate course actually that we're both trying to get into. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, like we have a group chat. I know last year our team was probably the closest team I've ever been on in my entire life. We have a whole group chat of just like, we had this one core group there with Betsy and Peters and all these guys, and about 12 of us. And we all went to Aruba. Well, a bunch of those guys went to Aruba last year and did a big trip. We're going on a big trip this year with the same guys and a couple guys from this year's team. And I mean, that's like, those are the groups that stick, and it's awesome. Like every time we go to Mississauga, if we see Struthers or he's injured or he's not playing, we'll go out, grab a bite with him. And so it's always great to see that. I mean, these are your friendships for life. You spend your whole teenage years, your most valuable teenage years with these guys, and you learn life, you learn everything with them. So yeah, all of them will be my best friends for life, and I'll do anything for any of those guys, even if they're not on my team.
First off, tell Cam Peters I said hi. He was our he was probably our favorite guest that we've had in a while on the show. He was quite the hoot and got the whole kind of interview series going with the rest of the players wanting to come on and respond to him. So
he's supposed to come down this week. So if you fans and you guys want to DM him and make sure he comes down to Niagara and shows some face at a game, that'll be great. We've been pressing him all year to come down, so I think him and Betts might come down for the last 2 games of the year, so that'll be pretty cool.
Two great characters there for sure, and I'll await the Sis and Cato real estate billboard.
Look out.
It'll be a billboard up there soon, I'm sure. But no, you mentioned that like losing those guys. Like, is that something that you guys try to get together in the off season? Like, if players do get moved and you don't see a lot of each other during the hockey season, because obviously teams' schedules are all over the place. So like, do you guys make like do you try to make that like a certainty where in the off season, okay, we're going to get together, we're going to do this, we're going to go on vacation, or even get together for a weekend? Like, is that something that the guys really look forward to? Is your competitors on the ice, but then during the off season you get to catch up and be friends again?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I'm huge on that. Usually, like, I'll skate with a lot of guys that I play with or in the league or whatever, but you never get that chance to really hang out with them. So that is something, especially this year, that we're taking really big. And last year we took pretty big. Like last year's group, like I said, we were really close. So it was pretty easy for us to just text each other and hang out. And then we're going to try this year again. And that's something guys do look forward to, like, especially after a long season. The one thing you want to do is just be with your friends. I mean, the hardest day is going to be when we all have to pack up our stuff and go home. And you never want this season to end, no matter how bad it's going. You never want it to end at all. Because, again, those are your brothers. So, yeah, we are going to for sure make plans, at least one mandatory plan that everyone's going to go to. And then whatever goes on, little things, little weeks or whatever we do will be pretty cool. So.
And, like, is there something that you like to do to unplug from the season? Like, is there any activities that you do to kind of cope with when things aren't going well, or just to, I wouldn't want to say like a meditation, but is there anything that you really do that, anything that really gets you off of hockey, or even telling some of the guys to, take some days off of thinking about the rink? Like, is there stuff that you like to do that really gets your mind off of it and gets you kind of refreshed when you go into the next week?
Yeah. So back home in the summer, or usually my go-to in the summer is probably, I don't fish a lot, but I like getting out like near the water or something like that. And like a lot of my friends and stuff, they love fishing. So they kind of got me into it the last couple of years. I'm not great at all. I know nothing about fishing. All I know is you catch one, you put it in the boat. That's all I know. Or you catch it and put it on sea. But I do enjoy that. I think it's a great way to get your mind off things. And I really do, like, as I've grown up, I've started liking the outdoors more, and just like getting your mind off things, going for walks. In the season, that was big for me. I go for a lot of walks, and whether I'm wearing like earphones and putting on a podcast, or I'm not listening to anything and just kind of walking around and just taking in deep breaths and really just relaxing, because like you said, it's very stressful years and there's a lot going on day to day. So I think if anyone can do that and just take 10 to 15 minutes, or even if you can take 30, that's great, but 10 to 15 minutes at least, just for yourself and for your mental health, especially nowadays. Like, it's a huge thing. Mental health is a huge thing. And we try and do the best, like, although we need to work on our hockey skills, we try and do the best to keep our mental state great and good. And so, yeah, like, that's a big thing that I do, is walks and little things like that. That I like a lot of physical activity whenever I'm stressed. That's my go-to. So even if I'm in the garage stick handling, I'll put headphones in, I'll just go ham stick handling. And that usually, like, whenever I get stressed, physical activity is my go-to. So.
And can you talk about just the coaching staff real quick? Ryan Coolbar coming in, and your assistant coaches, Jeff Angelides, Brandon Shaw, Damon Rasico, and even some of the support staff as well. Just how important have those guys meant to you guys as players, and teaching you guys, how to be young men on and off the ice, and just, how has that transition been, and what has Ryan Coolbar as the head coach kind of meant to this team taking over mid-season with all the moves that happened? Like, how important do you think the coaching staff was to get you guys, on track and get your heads to where that needed to be?
Yeah, I think it shows in our play. Like, you see Cooey steps in and we start getting some kind of consistency. We don't get trounced every night. Like, there are some nights where we are losing it, but I mean, for the most part, we still have we have a different culture in the room. Cooey's brought in a lot of different things. He's a lot more stricter in the way of he knows what he wants from us, and he knows what we can give him, and he tries to do his best to get that out of everyone every single night. And he's so easy to talk to. Like, he's one of the easiest guys to talk to I've ever met in my life. And so for it to go hand in hand like that, he knows what he needs and he knows what he wants out of us, and he gets it. Probably because he's so easy to talk to, but yeah, he's been a blessing to this team. And you guys will see for years to come that Cooey's legit. He's the real deal, and he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing out there. So that is a real upside. And then for the rest of the coaching staff, like, I dealt with Brandon Shaw a lot this year. Shaw's probably one of my favorite coaches I've ever had. He's the hardest working coach I've ever met in my life. He'll do anything for you. And he called me in the summer when I got to see, and he kind of said, he's like, I'm moving down here. I'll do anything for you guys. And I was like, yeah. Like every coach says, like, yeah, thanks. But when I tell you, this guy will do it, like, he'll drive to Toronto, pick me up just to bring me to Niagara to skate. Whatever I want him to do, he will do it for me if I asked him. Like, it's crazy how big of a heart this guy has. And he's so smart. He just loves the game. Like, him and Doc, Damon Rasico, they used to live together. So they were, when they first got here and they were looking for houses, they just stayed together. So they would watch, Doc was telling us, they would watch hockey games upon hockey games upon hockey games upon hockey games every single night on different speeds, and so, yeah, Shaw's a hockey junkie. There's nothing else to describe him. Like, Jeff, he is the man. Like, you can talk to that guy about anything. He has the best personality. Like, he's the player coach you need, and he's such a skilled coach. Like, he knows so many little details that most guys just don't even think of, and he knows them like it's the back of his hand. Like, he'll be on the ice for power play, and he'll show the guy, he'll walk down this way, do a little thing here, and it just works every time. And it's like, why did you not think of that before? And he's just one of the smartest guys I've ever met. But his personality is what makes him the coach he is. He's the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. Like joking around with the guys, he always has something new to say every morning. Like he's just the best. And then Doc, he's like our life coach. That guy, you need advice, you go to Doc. Damon Rasco he knows everything. I mean, that guy has a degree in everything, and he's a hockey coach as well. So, like, I don't know what he can't do, but he helps our team. He helps me with everything. I know if I have a personal problem or anything, I go to him. I know guys go to him. He's big into the crypto and NFT stuff, so I know DJ and Rebo are harassing him for what he does and all this stuff. So, yeah, he's a great guy to have, too. I think the way they mesh together, it's great. And then we have Jay Barron, who runs the goalies, and he's a lot like Shawzy. He's a hockey junkie, just is at the rink 24/7. He's calling me to come shoot on different goalies he has, and he told me he's at the rink for 10 hours after that. I'm like, this is insane. Plus what he does at the IceDogs, like, they love the game, and it shows. And then we have player development staff. I'll give this guy a shout out, Andrew Fritsch. He's a sick guy. He just helped. He's one of the most skilled hockey players still to this day. We always chirp him. We're like, you might have 3 years left. Like, you could still get 3 years left out of you. Like, he is doing things on the ice half our players can't even do. Like, and me and Augustin Ellie have actually worked with him a lot this summer or this year being injured. He does all our one-on-one skates and stuff. And the things this guy teaches me is just, it doesn't even make sense. And he's like a player too. He used to play for the IceDogs. He's not too far out of the league. So he's like one of those brothers. Like, he's like an older brother to all of us. And he laughs with us. He jokes around, comes and sits in our stalls, like talks about guys' tapes. Like, he's just like our older brother. He's the best guy ever. He knows so much about the game.
Yeah, and he talks.
So yeah, they're all like head and above what we had before or what we wish to have. So yeah.
Yeah, trust the process, Brandon Shaw. There's your shout out for process hockey, right? So,
yeah.
Is there something that maybe we wouldn't know about, the coaching staff, since people don't get to see behind the scenes? Like, is there something funny that the coaching staff does that gets you guys going as a team? Like, I know Brandon Shaw, he's an intimidating looking guy, but I think he could be, one of those guys where he's, he looks tough on the outside, but he really cares on the inside, like you mentioned, do anything for you guys. Like, is there anything the coaching staff does that gets you guys going?
Yeah, well, Shawzy's the biggest chirper ever. Like, Shawzy, you can't go past Shawzy and he doesn't say something about you. Or, like, you can't say anything to Shawzy without him chirping you in some kind of way. So, like, that's, like, and it's the best thing. Like, you're getting something back. Like, you could say, hey, how's your day going? And he has something back for you. He has a chirp ready to go. And so that's always fun. It loosens the mood. And then obviously Kui, he looks like a tough and big guy, but he has the light side to him. And when he jokes around or you make a joke where he can't keep a straight face to you cracked him or whatever. So that's always fun. And fun fact about Kui, if you guys look up Ryan Kuwabara, he used to have dreads like down to his butt when he played hockey. So that's something that no one ever knew. When we got the picture, it was mind-blowing the way that guy looks. So, yeah, so that's those two I can think of off the top. But
yeah, I can't picture him having that, but that's wild to think about. He seems, more of a conservative guy, but having dreads down to his ankles, that's quite the visual to think of. But we're going to take a break on today's show. We're going to come back with segment 2 of today's special interview with the IceDogs captain, Landon Cato, and your fan-submitted questions. So stay right here. We'll be right back on the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of your Niagara IceDogs.
Hey, this is Landon Cato.
Hey, it's Juan Copeland.
This is Kevin Heath.
This is Zach Lavoie.
It's Owen Floyd.
And you're listening to the Dog Pound Podcast,
the official podcast
of the Niagara IceDogs.
Welcome back to segment 2 of today's special interview with the IceDogs captain, Landon Cato, here on the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of your Niagara IceDogs. Now, part 2 of today's show, I promised the fans out there we'd get to the fan-submitted questions, so that's what we're going to do with Landon here in segment 2 of our end-of-season interview. So, Landon, first question, and we can talk about this young man for a very long time. Very, very special young man, an inspiration to young players in hockey. Desmond Garrett, at 3-year-old skater, asking who his biggest fan is, and I've got it up on the screen there of Desmond with his signed Landon Cato jersey framed in the background behind him. He's given me a signed player card of his as well. So there's Desmond's card that he gave me. So and this will be worth something one day. So I'm going to hold on.
Yeah, it will.
And,
Yeah, it will.
Just what has that young man been meant for you as just an inspiration and just putting a smile on your face anytime you see anything about him?
Yeah, I don't know if there's words to even explain what that kid means to me. Like, I met him last year in the summer through my uncle who coaches the Cincinnati Cyclones. But I had always followed him. So, like, I was always following him, his story, and I saw the NHL and when they posted him and stuff, I was like, wow. And I read up about him. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then I kind of, like, was going on, whatever, the summer's going by. And then I went out with my uncle to Cincinnati, and he told me this kid was going to be there. And I was like, wow. And I met this kid, and I saw him play hockey, and I just saw the way this kid – he did. When I tell you there's a kid that doesn't stop smiling, he does not stop smiling no matter what. There's not one bad thing that could happen to that kid. That kid is the happiest kid no matter what. And it just showed me, like, when I think about when I'm stressed or, like, I think about, like, oh, my gosh, like, what am I going to do? What's going on? Like, we're playing blah, blah, blah. I just think of Desmond, and I think about how he treats the game and how young he is and how much he loves the game and just the passion he has for the game. And it motivates me every day to wake up and do what I do and just be there for younger kids, because Desmond's going to be a guy I have in my life for the rest of my life. No matter what happens in our lives, I'll be in that kid's life for the rest of my life. And the impact he's made not only on other people's lives, but just on my life, and especially just watching a kid like that and just seeing how dedicated he is and how mature he is and how, like, much he really has a goal in mind. Like I've never seen it at that age. I've never seen it. And he's just like it's like he's like my younger brother. Like, I text him, I make sure he's doing all right. Like, he'll send me his dad will send me pictures of him. Like, I make sure I talk to him every single week, but no anything. Like, I talk to him every single week. He sends me something, and this kid's killing it. He's going to be on TV every single night. He will be in the NHL for sure, no matter what happens. I can guarantee it. This kid is the hardest work. He works harder than anyone I know, and he's at the age that he is, which is unbelievable. So shout out to Desmond. Keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
Awesome. I had to make him the first question because I know how special of a young man he is, and he's going to do big things like you mentioned. So thank you, Desmond, for the first question. Okay, and next question here is from Trevor at Wild Skateboarder on Instagram. I'd like to know from Landon, how crazy is it to see yourself in the NHL series video games? It must be cool to pick up a controller and play as yourself virtually.
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, a lot of my friends talk to me about it too. Like, whenever someone finds out that I'm in the game, like, a lot of my friends don't really play hockey. Like, there's a lot of soccer players and stuff. So whenever they, like, play NHL with their buddies or whatever at school or whatever it may be, and they see me in the game, like, I always get a Snapchat or a picture of my card or whatever it is. But yeah, like, it's so unreal to be in that game. Like, I've grown up, I had probably every single NHL game since I had a console to play it on. Like, that's the only game I play. Like, I'll play that if I have an off day and I have nothing to do. I'll play that for the majority of the day. I was saying, there's a story. My agent, when I signed my first OHL contract, he brought it to my house, and he was like, we were going through it, and I had signed the initial thing, and he showed me one page, and he's like, okay, could you sign here? And he's like, that's for EA Sports, so it releases you to be able to be in the game. And I was like, yeah, like, I'll sign that. And when I heard that at 16 years old, I was like, this is insane. And then I see myself, and I could actually play as myself, so it's awesome. And I always get that question. Everyone always says, oh, like, how is it playing as yourself? And you kind of take it for granted once you're in it for a little bit, but it's the best thing in the world.
If you've played as the IceDogs, who's the best virtual player on there?
Okay, well, it's not really I can't really answer that well, because every time I play with the IceDogs, I pass the puck to myself the entire game, and I just score all the goals. So it's not really fair at all to say. But it was when Gushin was on the team, he was like an NHL player in the OHL, so it's like so easy to play with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this year I've been strictly Cato scoring, because I had to make up for it. I'm not on the ice, so I had to kind of do it in the video game. And
yeah,
yeah,
you're making up for it there.
Yeah, exactly.
Next one is from Hi Seth Messenger on Instagram. What do you hope to accomplish in the future, either if that's hockey or something else that you're passionate about?
Yeah. Well, obviously, I hope to get an NHL contract next year and pursue my dream of playing in the NHL. It's obviously option A, and that's my dream. So I'm gonna go as hard as I can until they tell me I can't. But in terms of work, otherwise, I've actually been thinking about this a lot, and I'd like to start working or becoming a agent, whether that's now or whether that's in the future. I like the whole aspect of helping like youth through kind of what I've already been through. Like I like that whole aspect of the leadership role and kind of being there for like support or whatever it may be and getting them to the next level. Like I give it up to my agent John Walters and Will Sports Group. Like they treat me like I'm one of his sons. So that's kind of the same feeling I kind of want to give back to other kids and kind of help them get to the goals that I wanted to get to as well, since I've been through a lot of this stuff as well. So yeah, that's one of the things I want to do after hockey.
And other than going off into real estate with Sirazati, but
yeah, that of course, that's going to be on the back end always.
Yeah, but no, that's very noble of you to want to do that for sure. But next question is from @DevonTheGamer on Instagram. My question is, are you planning to be the first player to wear the C for 2 consecutive seasons since IceDogs legend Andrew Agozzino? I don't know if you can personally answer that. I think that's kind of for the coaching staff.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on if you are able to get that honor again, what would that mean to you?
Yeah, I had zero clue that was the fact, but that would be pretty unreal. I mean, like growing up, I even was talking to Darren today, and we were kind of just talking about my whole like experience as an ice dog and everything. And it was like, this is my whole, this is everything I know. It's from 16 years old, even watching Akil. I'd go to Akil's games. Like even when I was going to, like when they were recruiting me and I went to the first game ever, like just all that stuff. Like it's something you'll never forget. And playing in Niagara has been the best time for me. So if I could be the captain for 2 years, that means the world to me.
It's funny now because Agozzino's actually kind of giving back in a way to the IceDogs. He's playing alongside Daniil Gushin, so the Barracuda have like an IceDogs reunion there. So it's kind of cool to see like the past and the future kind of coming together in the American Hockey League. But
yeah, for sure.
Next question's from somebody you might know named @Hull Voldemar on Twitter. Your teammate Voldemar William Hull. How did you get such great thighs?
No, there's a reason that they asked me this. So, okay, so when I don't know, when anytime I'm in the gym, if I'm working out or if I have like shorts on of any kind, warm up, anything, you'll never see them past like my quarter thigh. Like I roll them up until they are the shortest they can be, and like I think I have pretty good thighs, so like I kind of want to show them off. And I get chirped about it every single day, but it will never change. Like I will forever, you fans, you guys can see it too. Warm up, I will forever have my shorts big. I think my brother, he played basketball, so his like they used to have this thing like in basketball. It started like a couple years like when he was into it, and like no one would ever wear. They would all roll their shorts up at like the waist. So like I kind of got that idea there, and then yeah, I kind of put my own flavor on it. I kind of tuck it into my warm-up pants, so like I kind of have a little spin on it. But it's a good question, Halsey. I'll teach you one day.
Okay,
it's all good.
Yeah, and shout outs to him. I mean, his progression in his first year in North American hockey, I think, you know, from where he was when you guys first claimed him off waivers to where he was to where he is now, I think he's really carved out a role and started to learn how to play the North American style.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken from the time we got him to what he is now. Unfortunately, he's out a little bit right now, but from what he was to now is unbelievable. I mean, he's changed his game completely. Me and him talk a lot, actually. Like, I help him kind of with the confidence aspect of it and kind of getting that confidence back. Because when he's in practice, I mean, he does things that some guys can't do. His shot's unbelievable, and he's built like a train. So there's no reason for him not to be successful. So I think on the back half of that season, you saw him really open up and start playing his big body game, and it's just he's going to take off from here. So
yeah, and those scarves, I tell you, he wears off the ice. Those are something special. But Speaking of special, from at Kevin He 06, you might know this guy. What is your favorite Kevin He moment this season?
That's an unbelievable question.
Other than his celebrations, because we all know about those.
Yeah. No, we'll leave the celebrations. I think he's heard enough about that. But I don't know. Kevin's an interesting guy. The whole answering questions twice thing. I didn't know if like the first time I thought it was like funny, and then the second and third time I'm like, Kev, at this point, like we gotta give it a rest. And then he what did he say? He was like, I don't know, you're talking about something in the room, and that came up, and he was like talking about what he's gonna do next week and how he's like. So that might be my favorite moment, seeing him trying to answer how much of a ride he gets out of answering these questions.
Yeah,
that's probably my favorite moment.
I guess so, eh?
Next... Or actually, no. Today I'm gonna expose him. Today was my favorite Kevin moment. We had testing, postseason testing, and we did the bike test. And Kevin was supposed to do it after practice, but he got to the rink early, so he ended up doing it early, like before practice, and he ate too big of a lunch. So he did the bike test. It's pretty hard. We're all getting ready in the room, ready for practice. He's laying on the turf with a garbage bin beside him. And then he gets up and he couldn't practice. He had to drink water and BioSteel, and he got the pretty boy treatment for the day. So that's probably my favorite Kevin He moment.
As Mish would say, those first-year athletes, I tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
Kevin will learn a lot, and he's already learned a lot in his rookie year, but that's one of them. Don't have a big lunch before the testing. This one's an anonymous question. Who's the biggest prankster on the team? I think I already know who it is, but I'm going to let you say it before I give my answer, because I don't know what has happened, but for whatever reason, my last name has become like the go-to thing that everybody just shouts out for whatever reason, and it was all because of number 47, but I'm going to let you just go ahead and give your answer before that.
Yeah, no. So for sure, 100% Copeland. I mean, like your last name, he says it at least 30 times a day. And then he has something for our coach, Jeff Angelides, too. Jeff is like really close with Mangiapane. So Copes will call Jeff Mangiapane like anytime he sees him, anytime he walks near him, Copes is yelling up. So Copes is probably the biggest prankster. Like he tries doing different things and stuff. But low key, the sneakiest guy is David Jesus. Like you'll go buy a water bottle or something and it'll be like half undone. Like today in practice, he like half undid a water bottle and some guy like got it all over themselves. Or he'll be like throwing tape at guys and try hiding. Like David Jesus might be the most like he's the one who stirs the most stuff up probably, but no one really knows. He tries to keep it sneaky, like he hides and stuff, but low-key, he might be the biggest prankster.
Wow, he's trying to get as much in as he can in the last 2 games of his overage year there before he's gone. So he's trying to be in your nightmares forever and keep you on your toes, I guess. But yeah, Copeland, I mean, I guess I'll take the exposure for just saying my last name. But I don't know what's going on with that, and he's kind of coerced some of the other guys into saying it. So, he's a pretty funny guy. Yeah. And he was supposed to submit a question, but he did not. So I guess he was too busy doing other things, I guess. But next is these are a set of questions from a special person that I'll name at the end. But what do you think the key to success is for the team next year to make the playoffs? Again, it might be a little bit of a tough question for you to answer, but just from what you've seen, what do you think you guys need to take for next steps to get to that playoffs spot next year?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'll answer this in kind of two parts. To do like on ice and then off ice. So like on the ice, I think for our team, everything has to be, we have to be, like our coach says, to be predictable to each other and unpredictable to the other team. So when we talk about that, it's like knowing exactly what each other are going to do on the ice when we're on the ice. It's fine. Like we're out there sometimes and they don't know what breakout we're trying to do, or they don't know what system we're in, or they don't know what forecheck we're in. And it's kind of more of just being more consistent in the battles and games, winning battles and corners, and being a hard team to play against. Like our identity should be a lunch pail team. We come to every game and we'll work you as hard as we can until the end of the game, and we'll see what happens after it. I think for next year, that should be our go-to. We need to put everything we got on the line, work as hard as we can in every single game. We need to win the little battles. Just work hard as a team. And I think once you do that on the ice consistently for a consistent basis, only good things come to you, and it also makes teams not want to play against you. You fans make it pretty hard for teams to come into our building anyway, and so we kind of want to do the same thing for them on the ice, and that's kind of going to be our goal, is make no team really want to come to the Meridian Center at all to play us. And so hopefully next year we're able to do that on the ice, and then off the ice, which is also a huge part of the game. Just be very connected. This year, towards the end of the year, we got super, super close as a team. But I mean, Niagara's a great city. There's so much things to do as a team, and I think off the ice, being very connected off the ice, as in going out for dinners all the time and just hanging out as a team and getting to know each other on a personal level more so, because it makes it easier for you to drop the gloves for the guy or make a hit for the guy or pass it to the guy. And it builds trust, and it builds a team brotherhood that we really need if we're going to be successful in the future. So yeah, I think those two things are going to be kind of our key points going into next year. And yeah, hopefully that gets us to the playoffs and further.
And the next one going off that, what do you think that through the tough season, the progress that the team has made, like where do you think is the biggest improvement that you guys have made, maybe since midseason, since Ryan Kuwabara took over as head coach? Like, where do you think that the biggest progress that maybe people can't see because the results aren't there and you guys, are where you are in the standings? What do you think that is something that equates to where you guys have came from in a certain aspect, if there is one?
Yeah, I think scoring in all different ways, all different aspects. I mean, we're getting scoring from almost every line now, and we're playing a more complete game of hockey. I feel like over the last couple of years, like we've been playing very individual hockey and kind of relying on maybe one or two guys to drive us through that way. But now it's the way of all the young guys and all the old guys. We all have to be doing the same thing. So I think at the beginning of the year, we were very individual, and we had a pretty good team on paper, but it obviously didn't translate in the beginning of the year. And I think that was a lot to do with everyone kind of on a different page. So yeah, I think one thing that we for sure improved was everyone kind of being on the same page and working towards one goal. Also, our offensive zone play. In the beginning of the year, if you saw, when we get the puck in the offensive zone, it'd be a kind of one and done show, or it'd be off the rush, a shot, or just a quick shot or a dump back in, whatever it may be. But now you see guys have a lot more confidence, and they're playing with the puck more. They're moving it low. We're creating plays and at a consistent pace. So it's all like, it's good to see in one game or two games, but to see it consistently, that's when you know something's kind of working and we're kind of moving in the right direction. So those are probably the two biggest things I can name right now. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of little details that we've done as a team that have improved from the year. I think that's all we've done this year. I wouldn't say that there's been many setbacks this year. Our owners and management, they just want success. So they've kind of put everything into play for us. If we work hard and we do what they say, then we should be able to come out with success in the next year or so.
The next one would be, what is your off-season plan for getting ready for next season personally?
Yeah. So I'm going to be down for a little bit, just dealing with my whole shoulder aspect and everything like that. Other than that, I'm going to be training with my trainer back home in Toronto, and then skating with Josh Roble, who's my on-ice coach. I do 3 times a week with him on the ice. And yeah, he's kind of helped my game since I've been in the OHL. He works on mostly doesn't really bring pylons out. It's more game situational shooting and getting pucks through and stuff. And he works with some of the most elite players in our game right now. So it's kind of sick that I get to work with him. I'm going to be training a ton, and yeah, just getting ready to come back and have a great last year.
No is there like a BCAT workout that your dad runs you through, or what?
No, actually though, he used to be like that. Like, he used to be that aggressive dad to try and get me to work out and all that stuff. He used to get me to do like stairs. So I'd like run up the stairs and up and down the stairs and stuff. And actually, once I was running up the stairs, probably my worst injury ever. I was running up the stairs, like missed a step, and I ended up breaking my toe terribly. Like, I was out for like a month with it, and I had to get surgery on my toe. I was like, all from running up and down the stairs. But I guess it did help me maybe in the long run, hopefully. But yeah, he doesn't do anything anymore. He kind of lets my trainers do that now.
Okay, yeah, I guess there's professionals for that. So
Yeah,
that the Ice Dogs have great staff there to with the strength and conditioning. I know they put you through some pretty intense workouts this year as well. Even
sure.
Before we were going to do a Captain Cato's corner, it seemed like you were pretty tired out there after what they were putting you through with the off ice workouts, even though you were still in the recovery process.
Yeah, no, they're very good. Paul Ferry and Mike we have over there doing our strength and conditioning, and they're the top of the top. I don't think you can get any better than them in the OHL. Paul's worked with the NHL teams, with KHL teams. Like, he's one of the highest end guys you could probably get, and they whip us into shape. That's for sure. We get going in the workout gym. It's good for us. Like, the guys love it, but yeah, and they're great guys. So they know what we need, and they get us going.
And this one is kind of a two-parter. What was the toughest part of carrying the C, and what was the biggest thing you learned carrying the C?
Yeah, that's a really good question. The toughest part, I'd probably say being on a losing team and in a losing environment as a captain. A lot of the stuff kind of, not that it is on you, but you feel in a way that it is. And I guess kind of taking that and it being my first year and how the year kind of went was a bit difficult. But saying that, I think that also was probably my biggest learning curve. You learned how to work through adversity more than ever. I think everything that I did this year and everything that we went through this year, me not being able to play and me being injured, like, I don't think it could have lined up in any other way. Like, this made me face adversity face on, and I had to do something because I was in the spotlight, and I had to find a way to help my team and find a way to talk to these guys and keep them on the trail and getting ready for another good season next year and to work hard this summer. So I think probably the biggest thing I learned was just to keep working hard. If you work hard through bad times, something good is going to come out of it. And I think being a captain as my first year and in an environment like this was this year, I think that I learned a lot. There's a lot of things to pick, but honestly, I would just say, working hard through adversity. Because normally years I probably would let adversity take over because I wasn't a captain. I didn't have the whole team relying on me. That's another thing. You realize that it's more than just you. It's not just about you anymore. It's about the greater good of the team, and it's about the 22 guys beside you. So it doesn't matter how you're feeling one day. You kind of still have to be that voice because there's a 16-year-old looking at you and he needs help right now, or there's a 15-year or whatever it may be. Like, they're looking at you and they need help. So you kind of have to be that voice for them and the voice for the coaches. So just working hard and just being happy, enjoying life is really all that it takes. You just got to enjoy what you do and enjoy going to the rink every day. Yeah,
and you definitely had that type of attitude, and I'm sure that was instilled in you at a young age from your dad and even some of the young people that you came into the league around. The Akil Thomases of the world. Like, just how important is it to pass that on when you had great mentorship as a young person, a young player, to now give back to those young players as now you're in that leadership role. How important do you think that was, just kind of paying it forward?
Yeah, I think it's probably the most important thing. Like I talk about Akil a lot, but like it's not even just towards me. Like, he's texting everyone that he played with on Niagara. He texted Augustin Ellie, me, and Wright, and he just checks up on everyone. So I guess you kind of see guys like that, even Betts I talk to, and you just see guys like that and see the way that they make you feel, and you kind of want to do the same for others. You want to make them have that be comfortable in this setting and in Niagara, and if they like the way you treat them, they're obviously going to treat the guys that come next, and you kind of want success for the organization you leave because that's your legacy. So it's big. I think if I didn't give back, it'd kind of be a disservice. Every older guy in the league should be helping their young guys out with whatever it may be. Like, there's rookies and vets, but at the end of the day, you're on the same team. You want the best for each other. I want Kevin to go as high as he can in the draft. I want him to have the best OHL season he could ever have or career he could ever have. And that's kind of where it comes down to, like, gonna have to want the best for everyone on your team, and that's what will help you.
And last one from this group of questions is, if you were giving advice to your teammates for their off season, what would it be? And I'm going to kind of add to this one. There's going to be a lot of top-end picks coming into this organization through the next OHL draft, and I know that can be an exciting time for the people watching, but it can be, a stressful time for the players not knowing, if their spot's going to be there next year. So, like, how do you balance that with telling the guys, have a strong off-season and knowing that it's going to be a very competitive training camp come next fall with all those top picks coming in?
Yeah, it's another great question. I think you just kind of want to give them what you've kind of been through and what's worked for you. You kind of want to tell them what works and what doesn't. But I think the message is always obviously work hard, but that gets to kind of to a point where it's like everyone's just saying it, it's repetitive. But the level of, like, it's almost not even working hard. You just have to dedicate your summer to hockey. Like, everything has to be towards hockey. Like, you need to wake up, think about hockey, go to sleep, think about hockey. And it's kind of the only way that you are going to make it into the pro and to the next level. Like, you have to be that 1%. And so that's kind of the thing. You have to be in a pro mindset. So that will be my thing going home, is just be in a pro mindset. This is your job now. We're under contract. We get paid every month. So we gotta do what we gotta do to stay on this team. Like, it's a job now. It's a business. Anyone can get traded at any time. So we kind of got to do what we got to do. So work hard and be a pro in the summer. That pro mindset comes with a lot of things: going to sleep at the right time, waking up at the right time, eating the right things, and just working out the right way, recovering your body the right way. You only played junior hockey once, so kind of want to give it your all.
Right. So those are some great questions, and I can't take credit for all those. Those are submitted from at Brian Cato, also known as BCAT, Landon's father, who, was our first follower of our podcast when we started it, I believe, in Landon's rookie year. So really appreciate you, the support from you, Landon, from your father, and just, the whole family, just, one of the best families that we've been able to be around. So we really appreciate, your guys' support for the show and your love for Niagara, the community, the fan base, and just all that. So I just wanted to quickly say that to you and the family while you're there.
Yeah, no, thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, my family, they love Niagara. They love everything about it. So it's awesome.
And last submitted question from my co-host Kyle, who couldn't be here tonight. He wanted to know, even in a funny way, what would be the biggest piece of advice that year 4, about to go into year 5, Landon would tell rookie Landon about succeeding in the OHL?
That might be the best question. Oh, that's a hard one. That's crazy. I
know that's pretty deep. I'm sorry. That's a deep question near the end.
I don't know. I think, like, it sounds a little repetitive, but, like, give it your all in a way. Like, I know that's so corny and so cheesy, but like you have nothing to save it for. Like, this is your time to shine. Like, just be confident, embrace the moment, enjoy every moment of it flies by. Like, 4 years felt like a year and a half, maybe. And, like, just enjoy every single moment you can. Like, every bus ride, every single hotel room, every practice, enjoy, laugh, joke around, don't stress. Like, there's so many things I would have told myself now. And that kind of is why I want to be an agent and just be able to help kids at that age. And just, like, you just got to enjoy it. Like, you only have this once. It's the OHL. You're in the best league in your sport at your age. Like, what else could you ask for? Just go out, enjoy it, and work as hard as you can, honestly. And that's advice for any kid that's listening, that's going to get drafted or hopes to get drafted. Hockey becomes a business, but that's up to you if you let it. You can go to the rink every day and enjoy it the exact same way you did in minor hockey, even in junior and in the pro level. You just got to keep that passion for the game and just keep finding a way to love that game and love the grind. My coach, Jody Hall, I remember he told me this and it stuck with me forever. He's like, the people who love the grind and enjoy the hard work and enjoy the waking up and enjoy going into the rink every day, those are the people that are going to succeed. The people that kind of are sick of it and they want to go in only when it's convenient, that's the people that are going to fail. So just enjoy the grind. It's going to be a hard battle, but enjoy every single second of it because it only happened once.
Very,
So,
very
yeah,
important for sure.
Yeah.
And like even, going through tough times and being able to wake up and be motivated to go to the rink and be, excited to do what you're doing. Like I think that,
Yeah.
you don't want to lose sight of why. I think you've said this early in a Cato's Corner episode, why do we play hockey? Why did we start playing? Like what,
Yeah.
the reason why we love this sport so much.
Yeah, no, that's the biggest thing. And I talked to even my team about that. Like when we're like in the dressing room and we're like angry about something that is on the side of hockey that we can't control, I just always say, why do we play hockey? Like we're all here. We're in Niagara, all of us, for one reason, that's to play hockey. So let's just go play hockey. Don't worry about anything else. Let's go play the game we love and let's see where it takes us. So yeah, that's the biggest thing I love living by. And that was, it took me a couple of years to realize that too. Like I just started realizing that you got to wake up every morning and just enjoy that you're able to play hockey at the highest level and that you're able to inspire and help so many people because of the level of hockey you play.
No, it's very important. And I think the other thing year 4 Landon would tell year 1 Landon is that that the facial hair, how to grow the facial hair, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I've been trying. I'm not going to bring that whole thing up because my brother and everyone gets at me. Like, I remember Sopa told me in my rookie year, he told me, like, because he had a big beard and he used to tell me, oh, shave every day, and then your beard will come in. So I've been trying that and I don't think it's working. But we're going to hope.
So I've been asking you questions all day, so I'm going to give you one opportunity before we wrap up today. Do you have any questions for me?
Let's see. What does Copes want to know?
Oh, no.
Okay. I got one. What in like ballpark within however many years how long do you think it will take from today for the Buffalo Sabres to win a Stanley Cup? Well, are we saying over or under 10 years or over or under 5 years?
Wow.
Or am I way off?
Wow. Well, after what I've witnessed the last couple of weeks, my answer a few weeks ago would have been different. I'm hoping it's within 5 years. If it's not, then I don't know if I'm going to be around much longer. But
that's a good answer.
I might have full gray hair by then if they aren't at least in the playoffs by then, because it's been 12 years since they've made the playoffs. So, and Augustinelli's supposed to be the Sabres guy with me, but I'm still questioning, whether he's jumping ship to the Leafs, which they're a good team this year. I can't blame them, but
pretty easy to jump over there, right?
Yeah, but. Yeah, hopefully within 5 years. So thanks for reminding me of that one, Landon. But
that's funny.
But anyways, I want to really thank you so much for giving us some time today, the fans and the people wanting to know, just how the season kind of went for you guys on and off the ice, and just giving us some fun stuff as well. Thanks for taking the fan submitted questions and just taking the time all year long with the Cato's Corner. We really appreciate that segment. It was a staple in our show, every so often, and being able to just talk to you and add that little extra bit of coverage to the team, I think it was big. And I just want to say, for everything that you went through this year with your injury and as the captain, you were a selfless captain for this group, and it takes a special kind of person to be able to wake up with a smile every day and get through the kind of season like they had. And I'm glad that they had a leader like you in that room, a guy that's relatable, you're funny, and you're just a consummate pro and come from a great family. So I want to say thank you for all you did this season, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to you again, in the off season and going into next year in your overage year.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. Thank you, and thank everyone on the Niagara media or anyone who covers our games. Thank you to all your fans and everything for this year. It hasn't been the best year, but I mean, we're working as hard as we can, and trust me, we want to win just as bad as you guys. So I just want to thank you guys, especially Dog Pound Podcast. You guys cover us amazingly. You guys make us feel like pros and feel like we're important. So I really do want to say thank you to you guys, and that's from me and my whole team. I know we all do appreciate you, and we really like everything you do, and we're supporting you guys through whatever you guys do and whatever you need from us. We got you guys. And then to the fans, thank you guys again for another great year that you guys gave us. You guys filled the building even some nights when we didn't think you could. And thank you guys so much. It's what makes our job so easy. and it gives us the hope and the will to keep going and keep pushing through it. So yeah, I just want to thank all you guys.
Have a great offseason, Landon, and we'll
as
talk
well.
again
Thank
next
you.
year, okay? Well, there you have it, guys. There was our special feature interview with IceDogs captain Landon Cato, just talking about the season. Really happy to have Landon on and thank him for doing that and taking the time to speak with us today, and to you listeners out there, giving some insight on the season, what's to look forward to for next season, and as well the fan-submitted questions, which is always appreciated, your guys' support and wanting to contribute to the show and contribute to this team moving forward, as we all hope that better things are on the horizon for the Niagara IceDogs. You just heard it from Captain Landon Cato about the exciting things that they're looking forward to in the room for next season. So, guys, thank you very much for watching this special edition of the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of your Niagara IceDogs. Make sure to hit the bell, hit subscribe, and smash that like if you enjoyed the video version of the podcast, and give us some love on whatever audio platform you listen to today's episode, and make sure you're following us at Dog Pound Podcast for all of our IceDogs updates there. Until next week, and most likely our last episode of the season, my name is Brandon Caputo. Bark, 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 go dogs go, and we'll talk to you guys again next week. You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.